and welcome to the High Achievers Lounge podcast. I am your host, Kristina Sjolund, and I am so excited that you're here today. I thank you for taking the time to tune in, and hopefully what I share with you today is something that makes an impact for your day, and you can take that impact and help someone else. And if you like if you like what you hear, share it with somebody else because you never know what it can do for their day. And without further ado, let's get on with our podcast today. So today we're going to cover 3 things that are causing burnout and overwhelm in business and for entrepreneurs. And there are a lot more than just 3 things. But these are the 3 things that we're going to talk about. I created some notes because I do not want to miss anything, because I feel like these 3 things really, I talk to people all day, every day. I am talking to people. I'm talking to people who are in all areas of business. I have I've got people and friends who are in construction. I have friends who are in network marketing. I have affiliate marketing friends. I have coffee shop owner friends. I've got friends who are entrepreneurs all over the board. And there's a few things that are common across all of the people. Doesn't matter if it's brick and mortar or online sales. One of here, let's just talk about the 3 things. So we've got number 1, probably the most common stressor in anybody's life is financial management. I think that everybody can agree that we're in a time right now where I just read these stats the other day that you have to make $12,000 more in 2024 than you did in 2023 in order to live the exact same way. And there's sometimes where I call BS on things. I'm not calling it on that because I really do believe that that is the case. I feel like that's the case, and a lot of people are really feeling it. And like people like us, we're middle class, we're regular people. We're surrounded by regular people, everyday people. We're not living in these lavish mansions. We're not, living this life on a yacht or anything like that. We're real people who are just trying to make ends meet. We're trying to make things happen. I know that for myself and my family, now it's myself and my 2 daughters. Most people know, if you've known me or followed me for a long time, I'm a single mom. My children don't get less expensive as they get older. That is for sure. So I have a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old. Both are driving now, so our insurance went up. Okay. Now we've got more gas expense. There's so many things, and groceries. It's not like they eat a little bit. They eat like growing humans. Okay, right? So we are feeling it everywhere. We feel it more at the gas pump. We feel it more at the grocery store. We're feeling it in our wallets because there's not as much cash flow coming in, right, as what's going out. So it's not like your raises, if you get a raise, it's not like your raise covers the expenses of how they've gone up. And I know that you feel me. I know that you understand totally what I mean, right? So cash flow right now is just really, really hard. You have to, most people are going out and they're getting second jobs. Some people are getting third jobs. And I'm going to share a few things that I feel like some people don't think about, because I do coaching calls a few times a week. I take coaching calls. I'm helping people there. I have friends who just want to increase their income. And there are so many ways to create an additional stream of income right now. There are probably more ways now to create an additional, I don't want to say another, or I don't want to say a second, because I really feel like there are multiple ways. And I'm not talking about like a ton of different, you see people that are, sharing just a ton of crazy things, right? I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is they don't really overlap. Okay. And there are things that you can actually do to bring in another source of income that isn't going to take any more time away from your family. In fact, you can make more money doing these things than you would if you were to go take a job at, whether it's a fast food restaurant or maybe a restaurant serving tables or a sports bar or, a retail store or whatever. There's so many ways that you can do it. I have a friend who added almost 50,000. Okay. When I heard this, I about fell over. When she told me she made almost $50,000 doing Instacart groceries for people who maybe can't get to the grocery store or whatever. She made almost $50,000. And that was on top of her 9 to 5. She had her 9 to 5 job. She would go do Instacart after her 9 to 5 job. She put almost $50,000 into additional into her income. Why not? Maybe you want to do Uber. I know you got to be careful, especially you ladies with the Ubers. You got to be careful when you're driving strangers. Don't get me started on that. But these are different things that you can do. I know there's digital marketing. I used to poo-poo that. And then I watched it. I'm telling you, there's money in these things. People are learning how to run an online business through this. And it's called master resale rights. They're making a killing doing this. A small investment, you can turn that around and you can increase your investment tenfold literally within days. Okay. There's also, I started my side gig. Now, I got into network marketing years and years and years ago, but I really want to share something with you because I typically don't share this part of my journey because I don't know. I kind of got a little slap on the wrist from a friend of mine the other day. She was like, "Why do you not share that part of your story?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know." Because I really only share it within the industry, but I really feel like it's very important for people to understand that there are people who just need to they're trying to make ends meet. When I started my side hustle back in 2013, I had my back against the wall. I had my back against the wall. I was a stay-at-home mom for 7 years. I didn't have a job. My job was raising my kids. I knew how, like I'm an esthetician by trade. I had people come into my home. I would do facials and waxing and things like that. But when my ex-husband wanted a divorce, I'm like, I have to make ends meet. I have to pay these bills. I don't have anything I don't have anything to fall back on. We didn't have a savings. We were behind on everything. And so I picked up this side gig. And also I got a job at a sports bar. That was going to be my main source of income. That was going to be what was going to be paying my bills. And there is no shame in it, right? I was hustling and I loved what I did. I loved being around people. And then I had this side gig and that started working out. But I really needed them to come together so that I had 2 daughters to raise. Do you know that in my first year of that side hustle, and there's a lot of people who poo-poo that industry, in that side hustle, my first year, I made 6 figures. I never would have thought that would have happened to me. So don't ever trash talk some sort of an industry like that, because I'm telling you, it changed my entire world. It changed the entire trajectory of my life. After a few years, I left the sports bar because it was too much for what I didn't need any longer. And I was leading people, and I got into a leadership role. And in that leadership role, it took me to a whole different place that I wanted to go in my life. And here I am. So on this podcast, because I want to help people, I'm pouring into people. I am so driven and so, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how fulfilled I am when I'm pouring into people. And so, with that being said, that leadership role put me in a position where I could help other people. It made me feel more empowered to empower others. Okay. So, those side hustles, where I'm going with this is they can lead you to your purpose. Okay. It's not just it's not just shopping for somebody else. It's not just driving someone someplace. It's not just, selling candles or selling makeup or, slinging jeans. That's what we all used to do. But I'm telling you that all of those things, support your friends in business, because they are moving to another level in their lives. They are on this journey of growth, whether they know it right now or not. I certainly didn't know it back then. And now I'm getting ready to launch my coaching program so that I can help even more entrepreneurs grow. The people who I have learned more about, who I have learned from over these past 10 years or even longer in some cases, but what I've learned from them, I bring to others now just by starting a side hustle. How many more lives can I impact for just starting a side hustle? So I'm all about a side hustle, and I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's you're selling supplements, you're selling jewelry, I don't care. Your side hustle is going to impact somebody else's life. So there is that. So, and here's another thing. Even if you bring in more income, like you increase that cash flow, if you're not doing things to make your money work for you, you're doing yourself a disservice. Like you're just like bringing in more money, but you're not controlling it. You're not making your money work for you. And that is really, really important. And I never understood that until later on. And, when I was really bringing in money and I was like, I'm scared it's going to go away. And so like I stashed it in different ways. Like I was investing in silver, which I think that is such a great investment. Precious metals, great investment. I am all about precious metal investment. I got a whole life cash value policy. What a lifesaver that has been, because that allowed me I still owned my previous home, but it allowed me to purchase the home that I'm in now, because I moved myself and my girls from Washington State to Idaho, and we had to wait for this house to be built. That came in handy for me. So you can create that and be your own bank. But these things to increase that income, and make that income grow for you and work for you. If you control your income, if you control your money doesn't control you. Which position do you want to be in, right? So, that is, another thing that I did. I went through, how many subscriptions do you have? Boy, they get us with subscriptions. They get us with subscriptions all the time with everything. You know how smart we were by getting rid of our cable and we got the streaming services. Okay, so we get it cracks me up every time I think about it, because they like made us think that we're getting over on them, right? Yeah. And then all of the streaming services cost money. And then, so like, then, okay, so now we're right back to paying, however much a month. And so there is that. But what I did was I went through all of my subscription services and I started going, wait a minute, well, what is this? And what is this? And what is this? I started cutting out subscriptions. Do you want to know something? The first time that I did this, I think I did it three years ago. I did it. Do you know that I cut out $300 a month in subscriptions that I didn't use or need? Yeah. And so now what I do is on a regular basis, about every 6 months or so, that might not be entirely true. Time gets away. Maybe a year, but sometime in that time frame, I'll go through my subscriptions, especially the ones on my phone, because sometimes we'll grab an app, but we don't realize that that it's a subscription that we got to pay for it. Well, one thing that they get us for a lot of times, and you may not know this, so go in and check, is we think it might be, oh, it's $4.99 a month, but it's actually $4.99 a week. So check your subscriptions, because you might just do yourself a huge favor and free up a little bit of cash that you didn't realize was going out. So these are things that I really like. I like to bring attention to this because maybe somebody listening is like, well, that's a no-brainer. Okay, well, it might be for you, but somebody else may not have known that. So that was new to me. But when I was taking a training a few years back, I was like, wow, really? Yeah, really. So you know what? And I'm going to throw this out there. If you do that, if you go through your subscriptions, will you please message me and let me know how much you're saving yourself? Because I would love to know that. So here's another thing that after finances and all of the financial burdens and everything, because everything ties together. Staying aligned with your purpose. That's another struggle that a lot of people have, because we really get sidetracked by day-to-day things, life. Man, it just that the whole cycle. You wake up, you take your shower, you brush your teeth, you go to work, you like do whatever it's that routine, and it's really easy to fall out of alignment or to lose vision of what you wanted to do, what like just the things that you got excited about. Maybe you started your own coffee business and you just kind of like, now you're in that routine, and then you go there and maybe the business hasn't picked up, much, or whatever it is. You need to spark that up again. You need to get reignited. And how do you reignite? And this can be hard for some people. It can be really a challenge, but it's so important. I'm telling you right now. You got to get back to your why. Sometimes I'll say this. Way back a long time ago, I used to think, meh, I don't need to go through all of that. It is so important. When you go back and remember what made you start, what you wanted to do, that excitement, that fire that you feel, that fire that you felt like, I'm going to do this because, at first, maybe it was my side hustle back in the beginning was, okay, and I will not get emotional about it. Back in the day, it was, I just got to pay the bills so that the power stays on. I don't want to move out of the house because I don't want my girls to be uprooted from the only place that they know. Those were the things, okay? And I can tell you that my goals changed, okay? So my goals went from just keeping the power on to creating a legacy. Okay. And that is a fire that I don't ever want to go out. It's more, how funny is that? That I didn't want the power to go out. And now I don't want my light to go out. Instead of the lights, I don't want my light to go out. I want, okay, so I purchased a home in Idaho. We purchased a home on 5 acres, and it's beautiful here. I see mountains over here, blue sky. The sun rises right ahead of me. To the rear of the house is the sunset. The builders, asked me, how do you want your house built? Do you want it to so you can see the sunset all year round? Yeah, I do. Do you know what? I don't want that to go away. I want, when my girls start their families, I want their kids to come over here and go ride quads or bikes or snowmobiles or whatever out back. I want them to be able to see this beautiful sunrise here. I want them to see the beautiful sunset into the back of the house. I want that legacy. I want this to be our family home where everybody comes and feels the love. Okay. That's what I want. That is my why right now. Okay. So do you know what your purpose is? And do you know what fires you up? Is it creating an impact for other people? Is it creating an impact for your family? I mean, there are so many things that, what is it that is up here or in here that drives you? What is it that you want to create? Okay. My previously I had my podcast, the Unleashed podcast, I think for a year and a half. And after a year and a half, I just didn't feel the drive anymore. I mean, there was a lot going on in the world, and let's face it, it all affected us in one way or another. It affected us. And so I left that, and I felt like, when you have this voice that comes to your head and says, you got to do this, you got to do this, there's people out here there who need that. When I'm talking to people on my coaching calls or leadership calls, or even just my friends, and I say something, and which doesn't really, it's just like I just said it, and they're like, oh my gosh. And then I have this voice that says, why are you not doing the podcast? Why are you not doing the podcast? Or I will I'll host a call to, a bunch of people, and it's like, I get off of it, and there's this voice, hey, dumbass, why are you not doing your podcast? Hey, dumbass, why aren't you doing your coaching program? I hear that. And not that they're like, it's not talking down on me. It's just like, I like my joking voice, like, hey, idiot, So I'm telling you, you have something in you that could change somebody else's world. It could change somebody else's vision. It could create their vision. So what are you holding back? If one of my mentors has said, her motto is, who loses if you don't win? I freaking love that. Who loses if you don't win? If you don't go and create your purpose, if you don't find your purpose and make the impact that you were created to make, who's losing out? When I was talking about the people who were on the other side of the phone or the Zoom call or whatever it is, and that voice says, why are you like, why aren't you doing the podcast? Why aren't you coaching? And why aren't you launching that program? If I didn't do it. Somebody on that other end would be missing out. That is the same for you. That's the same for you. So if you need help pulling that purpose out of you, let's do it. I'm more than happy because I love helping somebody clear the clutter that is in their mind, that and helping them see that vision of making a difference. I absolutely love it. So we really need to listen to what's burning in our souls, because our souls, there is, if you know me, which a lot of people who are listening know me, if you know me, you know that I am a firm believer in God, the true source. Okay. And he created us to make a difference. And we have so much power and so much to pour into other people and to make a difference. And that's what we're supposed to be doing here on this earth. It's just, some of us, we just got to find what it is that we're supposed to do, right? That's what we're trying to figure out. So it's like, if you have that burning desire in your soul to be more, you've got to listen to it. You have to listen to that voice because it's speaking to you. It is speaking to you. And if you just quiet yourself, and I'm going to go into this in a minute too, because what I do each day, I feel like, and it's not like it's something that I created, it is something that I have put together for myself. I have picked things from other, whether they are spiritual mentors, business mentors, leaders in business. There are things that I do each and every morning to get my morning started in a positive way, because we live on frequency. We are energetic beings. Every single cell of us, every single cell of plants, of trees, cars, every piece of everything is energy. And we have an ability to raise that energy, to raise that frequency, and live at a very high vibration. And so when I get out of bed, I want to be way up. Okay. I want my frequency to be so high that it's going to take something monumental to bring me down, because I want to, if I get out of bed and I stub my toe, it doesn't mean that my whole day is going to go to shit. I mean, it just means that I stubbed my toe. That's all. And so that's not going to hold me back. And so when I get up in the morning, I do meditations. I even before I get up, I have my phone next to my bed, and I turn on meditation. Sometimes it's just music, and sometimes I'll do guided meditation. And that speaks straight into here, that goes through up to here, and it starts my day. And now I started a new form of journaling that I am really new to this, okay? And it's called communion journaling. And I learned this on a podcast that I was listening to, and the gentleman was talking about communion journaling, and he writes it as kind of a letter he believes in God, and I also believe in God. And so it's like a gratitude letter, saying thank you. And he had said, he's like, at first I thought I was going to feel silly. And he said, it just started flowing, and it was almost like a love letter. And he said it was beautiful. And so I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. Like, I am totally, totally doing this. So whatever it is, if you believe in any type of higher power, whether it is God or Buddha or, Allah, whatever it is, write that. Be thankful. because there is a higher power than us. Okay. So these are things that keep you aligned and can help you stay in a positive energy flow for the entire day. And this is something that's so important to me, because if I get out of bed and I'm cranky, then it's going to just steer my day, and I don't want that. So once I get into that, and it flows for me and it's second nature to me, I think probably maybe I'll give it a month or so, and I can even do a podcast on it if you'd like to hear more about the communion journaling. I'd love to share it with you. But another thing, that once you get started in your day, surround yourself with positive people, positive energy, driven. That is something for me, that I have to surround myself with driven individuals. They cannot be lazy, they cannot be complainers, they cannot be, and I'm not saying that, to like keep those people out of your life, because a lot of those people are our family. Okay. And that's a whole nother topic that I don't even want to touch on. Okay. So, I need to invest myself. How do I say that? I want to be around people who are driven, because it raises my vibration, it raises my frequency. And then when I'm done talking to those people, I'm just as, like, I'm even higher than when I was. And so I think it's really, you have to really do an audit of who you're spending your time with, who you're spending your time around, because those people, that one bad apple can really ruin a whole lot for a lot of people. And even if there's just one person that sets your day off, that energy, how I said that I like to start with my energy way up. I try to not talk to the negative people in the morning. I try to not talk to negative people, but you know what I mean? So, anyway, so we're so, our energy can be influenced very easily. So we really have to make sure that we are protecting ourselves, protecting our peace. We need to learn how to deflect the negative energies of other people. One of my friends, we always talk about, put up your bubble wrap, or put up your mirrors to reflect that bad energy. But when we're around driven individuals, we're going to also be driven ourselves. So, because we feed off of each other, and, like attracts like. So you want to make sure that like is a really positive, driven, uh, uh, like that helps you get to that next level. So, and that leads us into having and maintaining a positive mindset. And we're going to close with this, because this is really my favorite. They ask of, what's something that you could talk for a full hour on. Mindset's everything. Like, mindset literally is everything. Because there are people who have everything. They live in a beautiful mansion that, $12 million mansion. And they've got, you would think they've got everything, but they've got a crappy mindset. They still come from a place of lack. There's still nothing's ever enough. That is so important, to have a positive mindset, because especially when you're in business, because how we were just talking about the like attracts like, that mindset. If you have, whether you've got a brick and mortar, if you go to your brick and mortar store and you've got a crappy mindset, that energy field goes out. I might have this wrong, but I feel like it was like 9 feet or 9 meters or something like that. But do you know when you're around somebody and you're like, oh, I gotta like, oh, she's grumpy, or you just know by they put out an energy field. You want to put out one that's positive, that brings people in. If you have a brick and mortar, you want to bring people in to your storefront. You want to bring people into your store to be purchasing, whether it's coffee or clothing or baked goods or whatever it is. That is so important. So, I feel like I know that it's hard to constantly have that positive mindset, but really when you start really learning how important it is, then you start knowing what questions to ask yourself. Does this feeling is what I'm feeling right now, does this feel good? Am I spun? Am I like, if I think I'm going to lose everything because it was a bad day of sales or whatever, if I feel like I'm going to lose everything over that, well, that's not true. Because if you don't feel good, if it doesn't feel settled with you, then that's not true. Now, if you have that feeling of this isn't the end, this is it's just a low sales day, or, I'm not going to lose it, whatever it may be. Do you know that peaceful feeling in your soul when you know something's right and something is like meant to be? That's what's true. That's what's true. That's how you can tell, because the universe doesn't work that way. The energy that it's crazy and unsettled, that's negative. It's negative, and you don't need that. So don't pay attention to that, because whatever that is, it's not true. Okay? So you have made it through every one of your bad days. You've made it through every one of your bad days, every day that has been a challenge, every day that you've lost something, maybe you were in a crash, whatever it is, people who have lost their homes. Okay, that is a really bad day. And that's a challenge to keep your mind set up in times like that. But I'm telling you that when you start thinking that things are happening for you instead of to you, it's a game changer. Okay, what is this? How is it that, I'm going to get through this? You just got to change you. Okay, why is this happening? There's a reason for it. This is happening for me because I'm supposed to be strengthening myself. I am supposed to be taking action to do something to make my purpose happen. It's like, I need to get my purpose out there. I need to find my purpose so that I can start living in my purpose. But these things happen to wake us up sometimes. Okay. So we need to really start thinking about how we think. Okay. And the questions that we ask ourselves. So, and then when you really get into that, it makes it easier, and you can get your mind straight faster. I'm not gonna lie, I get spun up. I still get spun up. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, I was spun up. But I had to sit down. I'm gonna tell you the secret of what I do, okay? Because I will never ever claim that I am a master at any of this stuff. I'm still challenged all the time. But there's a difference between challenge and struggle. To me, everything's a challenge, because that leaves me the option to win. Struggle means I'm losing. I'm behind. I'm like, I'm something's got power over me. But if it's a challenge, challenge accepted. Because that means I'm already like I guess level. That challenge accepted. I'm gonna win. Okay? Because I know that, I don't know if you have children or not. If you have kids, you know that you want what's best for them. Your kids could do no wrong. Okay. Well, okay, within reason. Okay. You know what I mean? You're never going to not love your children. Maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you have nieces, nephews. Maybe you have kids, or maybe you have friends with kids. But what do you see in those kids? You see, like, you would never wish bad things on your children or your nieces or nephews. You want what's best for them. And if they go and, if they go and they do something bad, do they make you angry? Maybe. Yeah, probably. But you still love them and you still want wonderful things for them. Okay? God is the same way, but even more so because he's already forgiven us for everything. Okay? So we need to understand that we don't have a creator who is punishing us constantly. We try to teach our kids all kinds of lessons, right? We want our kids to be as strong as they possibly can, so we do things in order to create them a life that they can, build up and be successful, as successful as they possibly can. What makes our creator any different? Nothing. He loves us regardless, right? So when you understand that, he's the creator of all things, and that he wants what's best for us, we take that lesson, or we take whatever we're going through and say, this is happening for me. What am I to learn from this? It changes everything. Like, it literally changes everything. So I want you to, like, really think of it in that way that makes a difference for you, because you're going to when like you're going to come across these challenges all the time. Okay? You're going every day, you're going to have challenges. There's going to be some days where it's like amazing, and all of these things, everything's happening, and everything that's happening is amazing and great, and growth and all the things. And then there's going to be times where it's not. Not everything is like, entrepreneurship comes with ups and downs, and we have to, like, everything in life has ups and downs. And it doesn't mean that your business is over. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. So again, going back to getting yourself into that place where it takes more to like it, you're going to fortify yourself for the day by meditating. If you don't know how to meditate, I'm not a master at meditation yet, but I know you really need to stay in the present. If you don't know how to meditate, there are all kinds of, who's the best? Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you do not follow Dr. Joe Dispenza, you have got to do something about that. There is another guy on Instagram. He's not going to be for everybody, but I love him anyway. His name is Yogi Bryan on Instagram. It's Yogi, and his name is Bryan. So look him up. He is absolutely hysterical. He is way up my alley because he makes me laugh, and he might cuss a little bit too. So there's that. So anyway, that meditation, your journaling. If I'm gonna like bring that communion journaling to you guys more. I'll let you know what it's doing for me, but regardless, journaling is something that's really, really important, because when you are writing, it is an ancient belief that when you are writing, you are putting it into the universe, you are putting it out there, and it is a spell. So, and I won't go into that, but it's really, really, it's fascinating when you really learn about what journaling, how powerful journaling is. Your affirmations. Your affirmations are so important because, and I'm not talking about just looking in the mirror and saying, I am strong, I am powerful. I'm not talking about those things. I mean, I'm really talking about speaking into yourself, that you are, monies flow to you effortlessly and easily. So be it. Declare it. Make it a declaration, and make sure that you seal it with a so be it. Okay? And take action so that you're letting that energy flow. You can't just do those things and expect that everything's going to happen. You've got to take action. Okay, so these are things that I can't wait, because in the coming weeks we're going to be having more and more episodes that talk about mindset, that talked about strengthening that mindset. And I'm going to bring somebody on here who can help us with meditation, how it affects us, how it can empower us and make us stronger. So I can't wait for all of the things that I bring to you guys, and it's so exciting for me. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in today to the High Achievers Lounge. And if you got something from this, I really hope that there was something powerful that spoke to you. If you got something from this, share this with somebody that you know and love, and just spread the word, because we are here to make an impact. And just remember that the potential that you see in others, it's what it is it's a reflection of what's already within you. So go out there, stay limitless, unleash yourself, stay aligned. And, I want you to keep reaching for more, because your legacy absolutely starts now. Thank you again. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you on the next episode.